We've already looked at pathos, ethos, and logos and how that's important to have these three elements for an effective presentation or message. We've also looked at choosing a topic, and we've also looked at ordering research, what priority to do research. Now we're going to begin narrowing our focus on the purpose and thesis of a message or presentation. The purpose to look at first is the general purpose, and there's generally three of those: to entertain, to inform, or to persuade. And up here I have the initials. If you reverse them, it's PI: persuade, inform, and entertain. Those are the three general purposes of any particular message. Most often a safe bet is to inform or to educate. But even those three have persuasive elements, even the informative and the entertainment speech, because anytime you move somebody or use language, you're moving them in a particular direction, and that's persuasive. In fact, there's a spectrum of persuasion to be concerned about when you're talking about communicating any message. You can start with something like making someone aware of something. Businesses spend millions of dollars just making their product aware through certain commercials and targeted messages. You can move up to creating interest or to inform, somewhere in there. And then you move towards even maybe having someone make a decision or action, like a vote or a decision. Then somewhere in here is persuade or convince. So what you want to do after you've chosen your general purpose, and let's just say to inform or to educate at this point, how much education do I want to get done? What's my specific target? And so your specific purpose is going to answer the question, what do I want to accomplish? Now, this is one of the most important questions to ask in any communication event. When I'm done with this communication event, what do I want to have happened? What do I want to have happened? That's your specific purpose. So while you might generally want to inform or to educate in this matter, and earlier I picked the topic of blueberries to educate my audience, to inform my audience about three aspects of blueberries. That would be a general purpose, moving towards a specific purpose when I quantify. But maybe I want to not just educate, but maybe I want to influence my audience to try a certain kind of blueberry. Now, the audience may never know what my specific purpose is. I might be educating them, informing them, but behind that message is an agenda. And that's healthy. It's not manipulative. That's what we do in life, whether we negotiate, whether it's interpersonal, or particularly a message from one to many people. All that energy needs to be spent in that target. So here I have a target with an arrow. You want to spend time asking yourself, how can I quantify what my result when I'm done? When they do direct advertising, direct mail advertising, if you could get 1% a return on your mail outs, you would be a very rich person. So it's not like we have to convince everybody, but when I'm done with my presentation, what do I really want to have happen? So something like, after giving my presentation, my audience members will, let's say 10% of my audience will go to this particular website that describes this particular type of blueberry that's grown only in Oregon, something like that. But that's very much measurable. So while you're gathering your research and you've kind of have a general idea I want you to cover because of the rule of three, you want to begin honing that purpose. And what will help you also is your thesis sentence. And your thesis sentence kind of takes your purpose and then comes up with the main points. And earlier we talked about the color of blueberries, the way you grow blueberries, or the nutrition of blueberries. Those would be three main points. So after educating my audience members on why blueberries are a certain color, their nutritional value, and how they're grown, those three things actually make up for a mini outline of the paper or the speech or presentation or whatever it is that you're giving. That would be your thesis. So let me go over this again for you. The general purpose is I'm going to try to entertain people. Am I going to try to inform people? Or am I going to really try to move in a particular direction? While all these are persuasive, some are more persuasive topics than others. You want to narrow that specific purpose by asking, what do I want to accomplish? And by doing so, you quantify it. So after listening to my speech, my audience members will visit this, but 10% will visit this particular website. You can measure that. But they might not hear you say that in the speech. What they will need to know is where you're taking them. And so the thesis sentence is the main sentence that says, this is what my speech will cover. And it's usually a combining of the main points. And in our next session, we're going to be looking at coming up with patterns of organizations where there's those main points so that we can really develop the thesis as we work through the presentation research process.